Hello, ma'am. Welcome to the show. Tremendous honor to have you. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Akash, for letting me come to this platform.
Pleasure.
And yeah, okay. I am Sakshi Agarwal. I run a home-based clinic named Mending
Mm-hmm.
Beliefs. Usually, I do a video consultations and also walk-ins. There
Mm-hmm.
are different spectrum of people I deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people who have mood issues. There are people who have anxiety issues. There are people who have couple issues. So I do partner couple therapy. I'm licensed from that. I'm a special educator for learning disabled children. So by and by, I do parent coaching also to tell the children and to tell the parents how to deal with it, to tell the children how to deal with the major anxiety and stresses and
Mm-hmm.
any particular dysfunction they are undergoing
Right.
cognitively or emotionally in their school, in their colleges.
Mm-hmm.
And I am also working with a lot of people who have geriatric issues or parents or people who have parents who are older. So how to deal with it, and also with grief counseling. So from as the pandemic is still just ending. Hopefully the pandemic ends soon, and we are still in this thing. So, but there are a lot of people with grief, with
Mm-hmm.
grieving around. So, and I do different kind of therapies, and yeah.
Right. So the topic we are going to talk on today is the difference between DBT, CBT, and ACT. So could you
Okay.
explain in brief what all these three therapies mean?
Sure. So CBT is a very old therapy which has been started by Aaron Beck in 1960s.
Right.
So this particular therapy deals with the cognition, as the name says, cognitive behavior therapy. It deals with the cognition of a person. So cognition, what is cognition? Cognition is your thinking pattern. What you think, what is your thought, and
Mm-hmm.
what is the reason? What when you're thinking about something, you have something. Okay, I have to do something. I have to do so and so. So there is a feeling behind it. So
Right.
there is an emotion behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this particular emotion, I have to do. Is it an urgency? I am using the word I have to do. So
Mm-hmm.
is it an urgency? Is it a fear? Is it something is it an anger? So we say it has been the thought has been motivated by a particular feeling or an
Right.
emotion,
Right.
right?
Right.
And then there is an action towards it. I
Mm-hmm.
go about to do it. So when a person, this is most helpful for people who have anxiety issues, who have
Mm-hmm.
depression, and who have OCD. So very helpful, and it is a short-term therapy. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very effective, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been more than 80 years now that it's been used. So it is very frequently we can see the changes in a person within minimum 6 to 10 settings we can, and maximum the person needs to go further is the 20 sessions that a person undergoes this
Right.
thing. This is a ground rule. You can see it anywhere. You can speak to any psychologist, any psychiatrist. So psychiatrists also follow this. And then I do DBT. DBT is dialectical behavior therapy. So dialectical, when you talk about dialectical, this particular thing deals with four things. So four things are acceptance of your thought or your emotion. So here we are not putting, like in CBT, we are saying that there is an irrational belief or an irrational. If I'm feeling fearful, I have to do it. Why are you feeling fearful? Is the fear required? Or is there a belief that I'm scared that there's something? So here we are accepting. We are not saying irrational. We're saying, okay, if it is irrational thought or an emotion, let's deal with it. Let's accept it first.
Mm-hmm.
So here the thing is about acceptance, about emotional effectiveness. So
Mm-hmm.
how emotionally we are able to deal with it. DBT was started by Marshall and mostly used for personality disorder people
Right.
and people who do self-harm activities. So suicidal, very effective to find out where are you emotionally. Is your emotion here trying to sail the boat of yours or you are sailing your boat? So the
Right.
difference is here.
Right. Right.
So your
Right.
emotion is sailing the boat there. So are you
Right.
accepting your emotion? Okay. So the winds are going this side. How do I need
Mm-hmm.
to hold
Mm-hmm.
hold by this thing more
Right.
properly? So here, how to navigate around your emotions, how emotionally effective you are around it,
Mm-hmm.
interpersonal. So how to deal interpersonally, how to assertively deal with your emotions and with your situations, what thoughts are coming to you, how to say, how to reframe them, how to
Mm-hmm.
look back and see if there is a dysfunctional behavior in that,
Right.
right? And there is this stress tolerance and
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness. So mindfulness tells you to be there, to describe, to analyze, to understand at that point of time what a person is undergoing. So bodily sensations. So then we talk about vagus nerve, and we talk about the connection with the spinal cord, which is also spoken in CBT. That
Mhm.
how is your brain is responding, how automatically your limbic system is responding, how
Mhm.
sympathetic and parasympathetic. If I put it in a very layman's language,
Mhm.
do I need to fight? If I am in fear, do I need to fly? If I'm angry, do I see a block? So how am I responding? So this is a long-term therapy.
Mhm.
Usually people who have CBT want quick connections, but then there is always this thought, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? I'm putting a belief as right and wrong. But when we
Mhm.
do DBT, we accept an emotion. We accept the presence of an emotion. It's a long-term process. So and it also depends on the how a person is ready to accept
Mhm.
it, because mindfulness helps in distress tolerance also. So
Mhm.
there, are you, is it leading to some psychosomatic this thing? Are you getting into a panic attack while undergoing that thing? So during the sessions,
Mhm.
if a person is undergoing a panic, if some a particular emotion or thought is being provoked, so we do distraction, we do mindfulness then. So we slowly tell the body, see, you are not in a distressful situation.
Mhm.
So we try to put here, this is your body. So we try to, okay, this is your body which is making you feel uneasy. What are the thoughts which are, so can we say, are you present right now? Very similar to ACT. So now I'm going to talk about acceptance commitment therapy. So in acceptance commitment therapy, the core processes are acceptance. Again,
Mhm.
acceptance of negative or positive thought patterns. In DBT, we do positive experiences also. So we always tell a
Yeah.
person mastery, positive experiences to add into your, so what, and reinforcing them. So if you're undergoing a negative this thing, you're able to assert what positive this thing, how are you rewarding yourself? I'm able to say this thing to a person. I am angry. How are you positively able to instead of boxing that person, slapping that
Mhm.
person, being harsh to that person, how are you assertively able to say, I cannot deal with this, please do not do this with me, or I do not want to do this? Here, assert yourself. So then again, very good for people who undergo trauma, who undergo child abuse. So people who have been into abusive relationships and into abusive, so there is automatically a panic when they are closer to people, or where they do not know.
Right.
Then there is a diffusion of the boundary also. They do
Mhm.
not know whether they're being rude or not. And it is a very, we belong to a culture where being rude is a very big thing. So accept your, bear your emotions, bear them.
Mhm.
Anger, don't show it. But how can you navigate through it more
Huh.
assertively and say, see, I do not need to, but there are certain my responses which are not comfortable here, so I need a
Mhm.
little breathing air right point
Right.
at this point. So how to shift it? So there are different exercises which I ask person: muscle relaxation, this five senses relaxation or distraction, where the sensory
Mhm.
experiences are taken into importance and person is being navigated through.
Mhm.
Then in acceptance commitment therapy, a person is also told that if you're accepting an emotion or accepting, you accept yourself there. So usually in this particular thing, if there you have core processes, the basic thing is your cognitive, there a cognitive diffusion. So this one was given by Stephen Hayes
Right.
somewhere in late 1970s or 1982, somewhere
Mhm.
around. So this is still being criticized whether it's a training program or is it a program where it's a proper therapy, because it is very similar to some other therapies. So there is object relation therapy also, Morati therapy also. So it's very closer to those things also. So it is
Mhm.
still being asked, and all their basis is from coming from CBT as the basic main father of therapy has been started.
Right.
So there where the main psychology started coming into that, there are
Mhm.
thoughts which lead you to something. So
Mhm.
not just your behavior is based on your thoughts. That is how your body and mind is connected,
Right.
right?
Right.
So in a very simple way, I'm explaining in a very, so now when you talk about it, there is self as as a context. So yourself, you are not just based, you are not a amalgamation just of your thoughts, experiences. Beyond that, you are a person who can observe this. So this is used very widely even in Indian meditation, and so when they say
Right.
observe yourself, from outside. So
Mindfulness.
what are you observing your body to be
Right.
experiencing?
Right.
So you explain yourself that.
Mm.
So, and there is cognitive diffusion or reframing of those thoughts, the restructuring of those thoughts. Be present in the current moment. There is mindfulness again, which is, and there are core values and commitment towards those actions, towards based on your core values. Very useful in grief, very useful in grief, trauma, and there are less chances of rehospitalization in it. Then still, but it is a long-term process when a person undergo. There is acceptance, understanding your triggers, and all these things. Yes. Please, Akash, tell me what else you want to answer.
So, what is the difference between thought and belief? And does CBT work on thought or belief patterns?
Okay, very good. So your beliefs are something which were rational at some point of rational means reasonable at some point of time. So I say if a simple thing, they can be superstitious in nature, they can be something you have heard from someone, and beliefs are something which somebody else told you. A person flicking an eyebrow in that way is an angry person. Might be the person is trying to understand something at that point of time. That is why that person has a frown, is not an angry person. So this is a belief, but the thought is coming to a reason. We reason our beliefs. Do we go and reason our beliefs? These are our beliefs. Somebody just tell, and we are believing on it again. And so this creates a cognitive distortion. Also, there are certain beliefs we hold for a long time, and then we experiment them. Do we have the capability to experiment them? Are we brave enough to experiment? That someone so and so said this to me. Do we need to experiment and see whether this happens also? You will do this, you will be uneasy. So if my mother says you have more salt, you will be not well. Don't have too much salt. So my mother believes so because she has experienced this when I was 2 years old. If I have taken a lot of salt, might be I've purged. But will it be okay if she be saying at the age of 12, at the age of 22, at the age of 32, at the age of 42? Now you have to experiment. Do I have to continue believing or thinking that whenever I do that, there is a behavior and then I will act like that? So we need to experiment. And first we need to find out if we are behaving in this fashion. Why are we behaving in this fashion? Is it based on our beliefs or somebody else's beliefs?
Right.
So I'm able to make a clear differentiation.
Yeah, we need to challenge our irrational beliefs.
Yeah, irrational core beliefs which were sometime true. So when the mother formed that belief, it was true sometime, but we never experimented it in further.
Right. Okay. Is there a hard and fast rule to which type of therapy should we use for which type of patient?
For which kind of patients?
Yeah, for a particular kind of patient.
Okay. So yes, so there are different kinds, and then there is always a way that we have to see. At start, if we see there is a trauma based and there is an attachment style which is might be there is a childhood abuse or there is abandonment issue. So we start with DBT because it is more closer to people who have borderline personality disorders because their major symptoms are very similar to that. But we can follow eclectic also and see where the person is more comfortable and able to expose themselves in a secure and a safer environment. So the basic purpose of a psychologist is to able to make a person come out of a particular thought pattern or help them or guide them and help them in their journey of able to resolve their issues, able to resolve and have a problem to be solved. If they have a problem, so first focus is to find whether there is a problem. Is the person accepting that there is a problem? Is the person accepting the problem is coming from the environment or from themselves? So all these things depends on which one a person is more able to come up. So there are a lot of people which have issues, they are undergoing divorce, very difficulty in accepting. So there are shifts. So not all session will go like first session, there's second session. So there are few sessions at the start which just go on wrapper formation. Few sessions in between a person's phase also, where there are different other therapies which are used. So we say 6 sessions this, 6 sessions this, but they can be a mixed session also. So we cannot go 6 session interpersonal skills, 6 session emotional regulation, 6 session mindfulness. We cannot go like a syllabus. So this is how teaching is different from actually explaining a person, being there for the person at that point of time.
So you believe in the eclectic approach?
Yeah, I believe in eclectic approach. I believe in eclectic approach because it's most helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some people who are so aware of themselves that they can work exactly in a structured form. So it also depends on what type of a personality we are meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So like type A people would be looking more on a structure, that ma'am, how will you be going about it?
Right.
Let me know. So have I reached there? So there is always a lot of anxiety around. Have I reached there in between?
Yeah.
So we have to be very mindful and we observe and tell them this is the process. So there is no hurry. So in the first session, I have not been diagnosed. No, you cannot be diagnosed in the first very session. That it might take you time, a little more time. So that this is a judgment-free zone. So how can we explain this to a person? Also depends on the acceptance and how do they understand therapy?
Right.
Do they think therapy is useful? It can help them? Do they think therapy is being pushed onto them through someone?
Right.
So depends how are you able to motivate a person at that point of time? How is that person motivating themselves again?
Right.
So it depends both on the therapist and also it's not that a person is coming and you're doing something on it. No, it depends on the person how motivated they are, how ready they are to face it.
Right. Right. Coming to CBT, in terms of finances and time, do you think it is the most economical approach?
CBT is of course useful and very effective depending on again the personality but again CBT also has a pattern of thinking irrational. This is my irrational belief. This is not good. So thinking right and wrong. Then again there are a lot of people who come after 6 months and say, okay, I think it is right and wrong. Am I doing right? Am I doing wrong? When there is a belief, okay, there is no right and wrong to any of this. There's no judgment or criticality to your thoughts or to your actions. But at that point of time, there is no awareness and description and solving that. Is it required at this point of time? And also, do I need to work on it? Do I need not to work on it?
Okay. Can you elaborate further on DBT? Is it only applicable for those with personality disorders?
See, DBT is not just for people who have personality disorders. It is also for people who do self-harm. It's also people who've undergone trauma also. So trauma can also have its different roots and different way of showing in a person's behavior. So how is a person behaving in that particular, a person who's undergone, people who undergo couple therapy. DBT is very helpful in understanding why is my spouse behaving, how to add positive experiences in pre-marital counseling to understand the possible triggers of someone. Am I behaving like this? Is somebody in the family behaves like this? That is my spouse is behaving like this. Or somebody in her family behaves like this. That is why my spouse is behaving. Do I know about it? So basically, what triggers a person is your word triggering the person, is your action triggering a person, is your reaction triggering a further, is an expectation coming into somewhere into a problem.
Right. So, suppose a person is undergoing some other kind of therapeutic treatment. So, would you still apply DBT to them if they're going through intense emotional pain or psychosomatic disorder?
So if a person is undergoing psychosomatic or something, so DBT is very useful at that point of time.
Right.
People would say CBT, but then psychosomatic is very important because what is psychosomatic or what is a somatoform or what is it? It is a reaction, but it is a psychological reaction. So we need to observe our emotion at that point of time. Why are we uneasy? Psychosomatic, we are fearful. Our heart rate is increasing. Our breathing rate is increasing. We are sweating or we're feeling weak. We are feeling drowsy. We are thinking worst might happen. Why are we thinking? Why is a body so your body is not secure at that point of time? Why is my body not secure at that point of time? Is emotionally something happening? Is there a possible trigger around my environment? So, but the last person I met was that creating me a confusion in my mind that see this is not right. So it's like a child entering a new environment. or a person entering a new work environment. Some I go there, I feel okay. I go there, I do not feel okay.
Right.
Mm.
Right. Okay. What are cognitive distortions?
Cognitive distortions, very nicely put. Cognitive distortions are basically are based on certain belief patterns, and there are different kinds of belief patterns. Thinking, there is very
Mm-hmm.
good and very bad. So anger is very bad. Somebody doing that, crying is very bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I should not cry. I am being weak. I should not go do this. Putting things in black and whites. So there
Right.
is a thought, and people who are undergoing mood related disturbances undergo a lot of cognitive distortions. So a cognitive distortion is a thought which is dysfunctional in nature, which was functional somewhere in past, but now is no more functional, and thinking
Mm-hmm.
things to be perfect, criticizing yourself, thinking. So it comes from negative core beliefs of yours.
Right.
I will always screw up. Concluding, I will always do this. So whatever action I'll take, no matter it is good or bad, somebody else thinks it's good. No, I am going to screw it up.
Mm-hmm.
So one another cognitive distortion. Why are we concluding a statement? So whenever a person notices a thought, we ask, are we being assuming something? Are we concluding to it? But
Right.
I will remain in this fearful situation. I will remain being anxious. I will remain getting a panic attack no matter. I
Mm-hmm.
will never be able to cure. No, nothing is going to cure me. Medicines are not curing me. Ayurveda is not curing me. Yoga is not curing me. My relationships are screwed up. My work life is not balanced. There's no work in life. So where are we saying? We are giving ourselves, we're criticizing ourselves, we're putting a negative connotation to everything.
Right. Very well put. What is your specialization and how can one contact you?
So my specialization through the years have become couple counseling and mood this thing. Basically, I started with children and I started
Mm-hmm.
dealing with. I still deal a lot of children with elimination disorder and with other issues like anxiety, autism, and other things. But then it started moving towards couple counseling, and people can contact me on Practo. I am on Practo, available on Practo. They can connect with me with from mendingbeliefs@gmail.com. This is my email ID.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a website by the name of www.mendingbeliefs.com. There is a
Right.
website which I have. They can connect through that also.
Right. Mending belief.
Yes.
Okay. So, what kind of homework can a client expect when undergoing CBT?
People can undergo a lot of homework from me. So the teacher in me does not die. So, during the first few sessions, I always ask people to observe their possible triggers, why are they behaving, and to
Mm-hmm.
further at least try mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
So, there is a short video. I have a YouTube channel, so I post those videos and ask people to first
Mm-hmm.
just observe and practice where there is a panic, where there is an emotion, how you put it. So, are we able to differentiate ourselves that this is my bodily sensation, this is my uneasiness, this is based on I'm not okay. Why I'm not okay? Am I hungry? Is my body? Am I tired? Somebody yelled at me. I want to yell at someone else. So basic things. So it is interpersonal in nature. Is it bodily in nature? So is the body is acting up in some way and thinking, okay, this person has not fed me from past 6 hours. I'm I'm going hangry. Hmm? So
Right.
I'm going angry and hungry both. So and then I'm saying, and then every possible thing
Mm-hmm.
somebody else is say to finish this off, I'm angry or I'm fearful. So and different people will respond differently. Then
Uh-huh.
comes the process of meta emotions. So a person responds how the other person responds. So this is very useful again in couple therapy, which I do, and even in parenting. If I am undergoing an emotion, I am undergoing an emotion of grief, I can be angry.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else is undergoing emotion of grief, that person can be sad. They can be two different emotions. So anger is one of the manifestation, one of the behavior which a person showcases in their anger. I'm shouting at every second person. Somebody's not talking for a long time. So then, if I'm seeing a person, I am unable to see my feelings. I'm going more angrier because I see the person as a ball because I'm unable to express what I'm undergoing. So then again, anger, grief, uneasiness, bargaining, sadness. Usually, depression is being misunderstood as sadness. I am sad. I'm upset. It is depression. No. So a lot of people would come at the start. I think I'm in depression. I am undergoing sadness. Sadness is a normal, natural emotion. If you're crying, it's a better way how your body is actually responding. The way we say WBCs are actually acting up when there is a particular wound which you have. There are a lot of W. There you see first white things coming together. So it's your body who's responding. Its immunity is naturally trying to cure it. When you are crying, it is a natural way the body is trying to reduce, make you feel better. It's like the endorphins are releasing it, so neurotransmitters and hormones are released at that point of time to support the body.
Okay. What is the underlying philosophy behind acceptance and commitment therapy?
So, underlying philosophy of this is reframing of thoughts. So this was first started. Also has a base by B.F. Skinner. So usually Noam Chomsky started this, but the language, this thing that different people will understand language, and also how you reframe yourself, how you put yourself. Put so good. My brother is not responding this way. My brother has lost his job. I look at my brother as an ideal. Why do I feel if my brother is not going further, so I will not go further? You as a person is now you restructure, then you reframe. Are you as a context still holding a motivated this thing? So we put a role here. My brother's not doing this thing, he's not going. So if he'll go here, so I will also go here. Why you will go here? You have to hold yourself. Your brother do not have to hold yourself. Why? What is now I restructure? I put it again. What is the role of a brother to me? So is my brother motivating? So positive experiences, positive looking, distancing from your thought, distancing from the current thought, diffusing yourself, and then putting again. Why am I saying my brother? He needs to support me. My brother can support me emotionally. My brother is supporting me from the experiences he has. I already know what I have to look at. So I automatically have been looking at him. But it's me. Am I judgmentally looking at him? Or I'm accepting who he is and accepting who I am. So I'm a different entity. Yeah. I'm on a different platform. I'm on a different
Is this diffusion? Is this
Diffusion. Diffusion happens. A lot of people get diffused by their memories. So it is diffused by their thoughts, diffused by their feelings. So restructuring, reframing is putting yourself, reframing that role. What do I expect myself at workplace? What do I expect myself as a mother? What do I expect myself? What is my role? My role is to take care. So a lot of mothers are like fearful. Something worst might happen. Why do I feel something worst might happen? Am I adding more anxiety in the environment of my child? I am anxious. My child also gets anxious because I am in the possible closer to environment of my child. So restructure here. Work on your fear. Your thought is there. Okay, acceptance. Restructuring, reframing. So my thought is making me think something, do something, behave in something. It is very uncomfortable, discomfort. Suppose this happens. It happens true. But it's mother's instinct. So now there's a belief. It's mother's instinct. Always true. So I am believing my action is responding because I'm a mother. My mother's instincts are always true. So something can happen.
So can you
validate?
validate?
मदर से मैंने कहा था ना ऐसा होगा तो हो गया ना देखो फादर से मैंने कहा था ये वैसा नहीं करेगा देखो कह रही है कर दिया ना इसने What are these? These are beliefs. You're just
Right.
reframing cognitive distortions. You are agreeing, self-fulfilling prophecies, assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
But
Superstition.
in everyday life, we are
Uh-huh.
responding to them.
Right. So, can you validate this research I've been reading that evolutionarily speaking, we are hardwired as human beings to think a bit on the negative side so that we could have the proper resources, that the tribe won't kick us out, so we feel
Yes,
fear
yes,
when they
yes,
judge us.
yes, that is
So,
true. So I use a lot of evolutionary therapy,
mhm,
evolutionary examples also. Yes, we as humans, we are still evolving, and we still, a lot of our primitive actions are based
mhm,
on what are we thinking, what our ancestors or people during Stone Age responded.
mhm,
So responding to something green, some people have allergies and do not, they purge out whenever there is a green leaf, because sometimes and it was being taken that at that point in time there was no poison as such, plant poison based, it was based on plant poison, so people
mhm,
would respond. So another, this thing, very funny thing, gossip. Why do humans gossip? Gossip in the olden times or during Stone Age times was the easiest way to be more cautious of the environment around you,
okay,
because
makes
you pick
sense.
up so much information from other people and you're cautious. That person is doing that. That person did so much. So
Right.
and this is a very funny thing I just read in one of the books by, there's a book by Homo Deus by the name of Homo Deus that talks about the evolution of mankind. So it says that 150 people. So 150 people is almost you as a family, your extended family is extended family. Around 150 people can go about gossiping and holding to a particular belief about something or someone. So if you look in an organization, if you look in families, if you look in schools, you can see how gossip is being
Right.
revolved. And it
Right.
is also a way of being cautious. I'm
Right.
cautious. So humans, even monkeys were people who are actually entering into gossips.
Right. So, how is mindfulness used in act therapy? Acceptance for it.
How mindfulness is used. So see, if you are undergoing grief at that point of time, it helps you to observe your emotion, to
Mm-hmm.
observe your body. So if you're feeling stiff, so a lot of people will not show grief in the form of expression of words. They will show in the form of expression of body. So people have body aches.
Right.
People undergo a long-term stiffness at some point, some part of their body. Then again, somatoform in a form of
Mm-hmm.
bodily. Somatoform is somato body.
Mm-hmm.
So in a body, you are showing those
Mm-hmm.
expression. So if a person is responding in some particular, so be mindful. Is my posture changing when I'm angry? My posture changing when I'm sad? My shoulders drooping, my heart changing, my heartbeat changing, my stomach going more squishy. What is happening? So mindfulness is taking action. So breathing. We lot of say breathing. Then different kinds of breathing people are taught. That is why people, usually psychiatrists, if you see, if somebody, a psychiatrist is writing, they'll say, do yoga, do pranayam. What is yoga, do pranayam? Actually be consciously aware of your breathe.
Mm-hmm.
How are you breathing, of your breath? So mindfulness, again, visualization exercise. There are different kind of visualization exercises which a person being asked to do at that point of time, which helps them to navigate and further accept themselves as an entity apart from all the. So you as a person, what do you desire? What do you want?
Mm-hmm.
What are the thoughts and actions you're making to go to a desired goal? Is it required?
Right.
I am working hard to become successful in life. I want to be successful as that person.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be successful as from all the people in my friends group, in my college group, in my this thing. in my colleagues. So I'm jumping up the ladder. I'm thinking I'm successful, but am I happy? Why am I doing this action? Then again, positive psychology comes into place.
Right.
So is it more pleasurable? Pleasure has a small this thing, a small uh, feeling of happiness, but
Mhm.
is it more satisfying? So eudaimoc or eudaimonic satisfaction, which is being aware of your desires and wants. Why am I doing it?
I think we should stop it here. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it was
I'll keep on going on with psychology. So, yeah.
it was very fascinating. Uh,
Okay.
so tremendous honor to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
I'll
Akash.
stop. Yeah, I'll stop the recording.